We've all had to deal with someone who just drains our energy, right? Someone who demands all of our attention. But what if I told you there's a kind of psychological disappearing act you could perform? Not, to literally vanish, but to make that toxic behavior just fade away. Today, we're going to break down 5 super simple, powerful tactics to help you do exactly that and get your peace back. Let's just start with this, because I feel like this hits home for so many of us. Isn't it just maddening that moment you realize your kindness has been completely mistaken for weakness? And it's only when you finally put your foot down that you get the respect you should have had all along. It's a tough pill to swallow. But here's the really cool part. You don't need some huge dramatic confrontation. You don't need a 10-point plan. The biggest changes, they come from one single intentional shift in how you approach things. It's not magic, not at all. It's just psychology. So we're calling this whole strategy the disappearing act. And again, not because you're going to ghost everybody, but because as you start using these tactics, you'll notice that the people who live for drama and conflict, they just sort of fade out of your life. They do the work for you. Let's dive into the first one. Okay, tactic number 1. This is absolutely foundational. It's all about taking back the power that honestly, you might not even realize you've been giving away this whole time. So the first move is simple to say, but oh so hard to do for a lot of us. You have to stop over-explaining your decisions. See, every single time you give a long-winded reason for your no, you're not actually clarifying anything. You're handing a manipulative person an open invitation to poke holes in your logic, to argue with you, to guilt-trip you. You're basically giving them the ammunition they need to use against you. And this, right here, this is the psychology behind why that's so dangerous. It's called self-justification fatigue. It is a real thing. It's that bone-deep exhaustion you feel from having to constantly defend every little choice you make. And toxic people, they absolutely thrive on this. Because once you're tired, once you're worn down, you are so much easier to control. The second you stop explaining, they lose all that leverage. All right, tactic number 2 is all about starving the beast, so to speak. These toxic interactions, they run on one type of fuel, and it's a fuel that you have 100% control over. So here's the absolute key. Your emotional reaction is their paycheck. It's their reward. It doesn't matter if it's anger or frustration or even sadness. A big, juicy reaction tells them, yes, I have power over you. It's the validation they crave. So when you withhold that, when you give them nothing, you take away their entire reason for being there. And just look at how clearly this breaks it down. It's like a fork in the road. On the left, you react. You give them the fuel and boom, they gain control. But look at the right. When you detach, you cut off their supply. And what happens? They get bored. The game isn't fun for them anymore, so they just move on to find someone else to play with. There's a powerful psychological principle at play here. It's called intermittent reinforcement. It's the exact same reason slot machines in Vegas are so addictive. You never know when you're going to get a payout, so you just keep pulling the lever. Your emotional reactions? That's the payout. By becoming consistently calm and non-reactive, you literally break that addictive cycle. The next 2 tactics we're going to talk about use one of the most powerful principles in human psychology: scarcity. The less available something is, the more valuable it becomes. By making your time and your boundaries a little more scarce, you instantly make them more valuable. Let's start with those boundaries. Okay, here's tactic number 3. And it might sound way too simple, but trust me on this. You don't need a giant wall of rules. Just focus on setting one single clear boundary. The real power isn't in having 10 different rules. It's in how consistently you enforce the one that truly matters. And here's exactly how you do it. It's a simple 2-step dance. First, you state your boundary. Calmly, clearly, no big angry speech needed. Then, and this is the part where most people fail, you apply the consequence every single time. It's that consistency that reteaches people how you expect to be treated. And this flows perfectly into tactic 4. You have to become less available. Now, let's be super clear. This is not about playing games. This isn't about being manipulative. It is pure self-preservation. You're just choosing to stop rewarding bad behavior with your most valuable resource, your time and your energy. And of course, there's a term for this. It's called behavioral extinction. Think about it like this. If a behavior stops getting a reward, it eventually just fades away. When someone's desperate attempts to get your attention are consistently met with, well, your absence, the behavior just extinguishes itself. They stop trying because it flat out doesn't work anymore. Okay, our fifth and final tactic. This one might be the most misunderstood of them all, the power of strategic silence. This is not about weakness. It's about using silence as a powerful strategic tool. Choosing your silence is an active, powerful decision. When someone is poking and prodding, trying to bait you into a pointless fight, sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Silence sends a deafening message that says, I am no longer participating in this drama. And it forces them to sit and listen to their own nonsense for a change. This isn't the same as giving someone the silent treatment to punish them. No, this is what's known as a detachment response. It's a clear, nonverbal signal you're sending that you are emotionally checking out of their chaos. It says, plain and simple, what you're doing, what you're saying, it no longer has any power over me. And for someone who feeds on that power, that is a game ender. So, okay, we've covered 5 really solid tactics, but the real transformation, the thing that changes everything, is the shift in your mindset that happens when you put them all together. And this right here, this is the thought that changes the whole game. Just let that sink in for a second. This whole process, it isn't about loss, it's about access. You're not losing anyone. They are losing access to the version of you that put up with their nonsense. You're evolving and they can't come with you. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this final, powerful question to think about. What version of you are they going to lose access to? Think about it. The over-explaining you, the emotionally reactive you, the you with shaky boundaries, versus the calm, confident person you become when you stop. Which version of you are they going to lose access to? Because that choice is 100% yours.